In this episode, we'll dive into the SR&ED programs, scaling startups, and the role of innovation in transforming business operations.
So what the SR&ED program is a way for the government to support companies who are making investments in that area to do more of it.
Small businesses are the driving force of innovation, and navigating complex systems like SR&ED can be overwhelming. But remember, support is available and it can lead to substantial growth for your company.
Most companies would engage with one of the big four accounting firms like Deloitte or EY or MMP, and that firm won't have access to their data that they need to put together the claim, and they're quite expensive to work with.
Innovation is key to staying competitive, especially for small businesses, and with the right support systems in place, such as SR&ED and expert guidance, your business can access the tools it needs to thrive. Welcome to another insightful episode of the CanadianSME Small Business Podcast, where we explore the challenges and opportunities facing Canadian small businesses. In this episode, we'll dive into the SR&ED programs, scaling startups, and the role of innovation in transforming business operations. As small businesses continue to be the backbone of Canada's economy, understanding how to leverage these tools is so crucial for long-term success. Our guest today is Kevin Kliman, the founder and CEO of Humi, Canada's leading all-in-one people solution. Kevin has been starting businesses since high school and brings a wealth of knowledge on supporting early-stage entrepreneurs and helping them grow. He's passionate about driving innovation and supporting Canadian businesses through Humi's range of services. We're very thrilled to have Kevin on the podcast today. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us today. We're very thrilled to have you on the podcast to share your journey and your insights. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's an honor to be here.
Now, Kevin, we'll set the conversation by really discussing the SR&ED and how it supports the small business owners, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is proving to become such a major tool for supporting Canadian businesses, especially in innovation. But many entrepreneurs, they're unfamiliar with how it works and how it can benefit them. And the goal here is to really understand the SR&ED and how it could really help with unlocking resources that could change the trajectory of a business. Could you give us an overview of SR&ED and what it is exactly and how it is designed to support small businesses in Canada?
Yeah, absolutely. Our innovation economy ecosystem is so incredibly important to our country and to our economy. Our investment in future technologies are the things that yield jobs and taxes and further innovation. And so what the SR&ED program is a way for the government to support companies who are making investments in that area to do more of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the simplest way to think about it is that for every dollar spent on something that is innovative or experimental, the government will give you back between 50 and 60% of that in cash on an annual basis, which is quite favorable and awesome for businesses, especially ones that are making these types of investments, because they tend to carry a certain amount of risk. And it certainly encourages them to take that and potentially more risk in building out innovation. The other thing that's really important to consider here is that the cost of capital for businesses generally is incredibly important. And where you get your capital to fund your business has a huge impact on the outcome of that business. The SR&D program is a fantastic way for small business owners to lower their cost of capital by bringing in capital to fund their businesses that is less expensive than debt and less expensive than investment.
Right. Now, that's a very invaluable insight, Kevin. And it's clear that, SR&ED, it's a very important tool for SMBs, but navigating the system can be very daunting for many small businesses out there. What do you think are the most common misconceptions entrepreneurs have about SR&ED, and how can they approach it more effectively?
I think maybe the biggest misconception is that you need to be building nuclear reactors or some sort of like crazy rocket technology to be able to be a part of the SR&D program. The definition of what is experimental and innovative is much more broad and encompassing and should be applicable to many more companies than I think people understand.
Mm-hmm. The fun fact to that point is that 75% of SR&ED claims in Canada are made by small and medium-sized businesses. It's crazy. But how do you think that SR&ED has influenced the growth of small businesses in Canada compared to larger corporations?
Yeah, it's a great question. Again, a lot of these companies aren't necessarily easy to start or grow or finance. And so, when I think about these types of government programs, you think about incentives of when you tax something, you want less of it. When you give incentives back, you want more of it. It's hard to say just how influential this program has been, but there's no doubt that this program has helped the companies in Canada who are investing in innovation and experimentation succeed.
Right. Well, thank you so much for breaking that down for us, Kevin. I mean, SR&ED has great potential, and it's helpful to understand how businesses can really start assessing the support. But small business owners, they can benefit insignificantly by taking the right steps to simplify. And our job here is to really demystify the entire process, right? Small businesses are the driving force of innovation, and navigating complex systems like SR&ED can be overwhelming. But remember, support is available and it can lead to substantial growth for your company. So stay tuned as we continue discussing how to unlock the power of these resources and grow your business strategically. Now let's explore some of the main points that businesses often encounter when navigating this program. While SR&ED is an incredible tool, it's not without its challenges. Now, many small businesses, as we know, they face, hurdles when trying to access its benefits, which can lead to, some sort of frustration and missed opportunities.
Yeah.
Kevin, SR&ED is currently undergoing, consultations to improve and modernize the systems. But can you really talk about the major pain points that small businesses face when it comes to SR&ED?
Yeah, absolutely. Once you get past the awareness issue, I think there are two main things for companies that tend to be limiting factors. One is how the claim is created, the operational burden on the company, how much time it takes to write up the claim, to organize the information around it, and then to coordinate with your accounting function to include that as part of your year-end. And that is in a lot of ways solved by engaging with a really good consultant. So Humi has an SR&ED business. We have some extremely talented technical writers who are meant to help foster that process and make it easier for companies to submit a claim. If you have one of those, it makes a world of difference. There are a small handful of people who are super technical and can write these on their own. But for the vast majority of people, it's not a good use of their time and it's not their skill set. The other big thing here is cost.
Right.
And there are a couple of different ways that consultants will structure the cost for companies. Some will charge an hourly rate, which is, can be difficult because you're not sure how much work goes into it and the cost can get quite high. There are a number of other consultants that will work on contingency on a success basis, which is what Humi does. So the consultant doesn't actually get paid unless the company has a successful claim,
right?
Which is a much easier thing to commit to because, then the cost is really just a time function versus a capital one.
It's quite unfortunate. It's such a beneficial program, can have so many obstacles for small businesses. But the good news is that there are ways to, improve the process with platforms like Humi. But Kevin, what are the most impactful changes that you believe would make SR&ED more accessible and beneficial for small businesses?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm happy to talk about what we're working on to improve the process. So Humi is a platform that helps businesses employ their people. It combines the functions of HR, payroll, health benefits administration, and as well as tax credits, specifically SR&ED. And what we do is, so for an SR&ED claim, maybe 50% of the information you need lives in the employee system of record. It's the people who contribute to the work and their pay rates and the amount of time spent on each project. And the other half of that is the project management system, or where the work is being tracked and stored. And so what we're building is a way to access the information that already exists without requiring a company to go in and spend time on it. So we'll pull in information from the employee system of record and from the project management system to effectively build the basis of a claim for a company.
I think that's a great start point because addressing these pain points can significantly help small businesses because as we simplify the SR&ED, it can be a key to driving, growth, especially in Canada's very competitive market. Now let's explore how Humi is tackling these challenges with its SR&ED service. Kevin, Humi has, built its reputation by streamlining HR, benefits, and payroll for Canadian businesses. And now it's adding SR&ED services to boost innovation, which is a potential game changer for small businesses. Tell us more about, Humi's SR&D service, Kevin, and how does it work? What alternative options would small businesses have if they weren't using this particular service?
So historically, most companies would engage with one of the big four accounting firms, like Deloitte or EY or MMP, and that firm won't have access to their data that they need to put together the claim, and they're quite expensive to work with. So what Humi is doing is we're productizing a lot of the work that needs to go into building a claim, and we're also reducing the cost of putting that claim together. Because we aggregate a number of different services for a company, we don't have to charge nearly as much as a traditional consultant. And we also know your business a whole lot better. So we can identify work that should be claimed that isn't, or employees that may be eligible for SR&ED that might not have been included in the past. So all in all, making it more accessible and less expensive for SMBs is incredibly important because let's be honest, running a small business is really difficult, no matter what the business is. And the more capital a small business can have for their operations, for anything else around the business, the more likely they are to succeed.
That's well said. And, it's great to see how platforms like Humi is stepping in to really simplify a process that can be so complex for small businesses. And having a solution like this, I believe, it will remove a lot of stress for a lot of entrepreneurs out there. We've covered some insightful points on SR&ED and how Humi is helping small businesses simplify this process. Let's take a quick break. And when we return, we'll dive into the challenges of scaling startups and how innovation can be the key to staying competitive.
You dreamt big. You made the leap. You and your "we're not stopping at small" business. Doesn't matter you've never done it before. You unlock those problems. You adapt to change. You learn to evolve. You're pioneers in challenging times, finding your own frontiers. Wherever you e-commerce, UPS is with you. So nothing is going to hold you back.
4 billion people check their email every day. That's 4 billion missed opportunities if your message doesn't make it. To reach your customer's inbox, you need a winning strategy. And Constant Contact delivers. Literally, over 97% deliverability. Elevate your email game with easy-to-use templates, writing assistants powered by AI, and in-depth metrics. Ensuring your email is flawless, delivered, and read. Constant Contact delivers. Give it a try.
At IHG Hotels and Resorts, we're in the business of you.
We're here to help you plug in,
connect and recharge,
make an impression,
and meet with confidence.
With 19 brands built for business,
your business gets even more rewarding.
With an award-winning loyalty program at 6,000 IHG hotels and resorts worldwide.
Welcome back. Now that we've explored SR&ED and its benefits, let's shift gears and really talk about scaling your business. But to build onto this a bit more, Kevin, how have you seen small businesses benefit from using Humi's SR&ED service? And could you share any success stories I could add to this for our audience?
Yeah, so it's one of our fastest growing businesses. Close to 100 companies already using the service. And just for context, there are 4,000 businesses who are currently using Humi to help employ their people, from recruiting to paying to administering benefits and everything in between. And And, you know, as I've mentioned before, it's the two like big things of lightening their operational load and helping bring the claim together, and then reducing the cost that's required to pay a consultant to actually like process, you know, put together an SR&D claim. So a lot of the companies that we work with, the vast majority of them have been working with, you know, third parties or other consultants in the past. And for a lot of them, they're paying maybe 50% less than what they had. And so, you know, one company that comes to mind, I probably shouldn't say names, was paying their consultants $60,000 a year. This year was about 30 on Humi. And there's a whole bunch of examples like that, wherein tens of thousands of dollars that would previously go to a consultant gets to stay with the company. And to me, that's a huge success.
It is a huge success. And thank you for sharing the example. I mean, it's so inspiring to see how Humi is making SR&ED for small businesses so accessible. And I think for me, I believe that it will allow businesses to really focus on innovation and growth. And simplifying was key. And you're doing it. And I mean, this is what it's going to take to make a real impact, right? Innovation is key to staying competitive, especially for small businesses. And with the right support systems in place, such as SR&ED and expert guidance, your business can access the tools it needs to thrive. Please stay with us as we continue this conversation on innovation and scaling your startup. But let's move on to our next topic that many entrepreneurs struggle with. It is scaling their startups successfully. Kevin, scaling a startup is one of the most exciting yet challenging aspects of running a business. And it takes strategy, it takes resilience, and it takes the right resources to overcome growth challenges. You've helped many entrepreneurs navigate their growth journey. What advice would you give to entrepreneurs that are looking to scale their businesses while avoiding common pitfalls?
Oh man, it's tough. I mean, it's just generally difficult, and knowing that from the outset coming in, I think is very helpful for people. And being very thoughtful about what the right time to scale is. So probably the first question you would ask yourself is it the right time to scale what I have? Do customers love what we do? Is there a big enough market? Do we have the resources to go out and get the scale that we want to achieve? And after that, just being very considerate of the business, not just looking at stock examples of things in market, and, you know, copying. Although like it's really good to take inspiration and lessons and stories, you really need to find the unique path for your business and pick and understand what success looks like, not just for the business, but for the entrepreneur itself. Because for some people, owning 5% of a company worth billions of dollars is the thing they really want to do. And for others, you know, owning 80% of a company that is worth $10 million is a much more preferable path. And being honest at the outset about like, what is the right path? And then having an honest conversation of like, how do I get there?
Well, that's some great advice for any entrepreneur out there that is looking to scale, because at the end of the day, scaling really requires, foresight and patience both to do it in a very successful manner. But Kevin, what are some key resources or tools that you'd recommend for startups looking to scale successfully?
Yeah, absolutely. There's always the question of what do I handle versus what do I outsource, and like, you know, use leverage in managing. And I think there are certain things that you should absolutely focus on, and other things where there's such great tools that exist today that you should default to them. So I think about Shopify. They deliver this magical black box to a business and it makes them a great merchant. And they continue to add really valuable tools over time that, you know, improve the way that business can function. And the entrepreneur gets to focus on the business itself. Humi is a great example on the other side of that for employing people.
Right.
Wherein there are things you just have to do. Remitting taxes to the government, tracking time off properly, abiding by the ESA, and having a system like Humi that is really inexpensive and fairly simple to set up. You know, we're talking like $10 to $15 per person per month,
right? But
can save a business incredible amounts of time and risk. So, you know, you think about saving a company like hours per onboard a new employee times how many employees they have per, new employees per year. Those are all hours that can go back to the business or back to the individuals. Same with if you can get them a paycheck better, sooner. There's a similar story with administering health benefits. If you do it correctly, awesome. But it can take a ton of time if all your systems are completely siloed. If you do it wrong and you have the wrong people on the plan, it can cost the business catastrophic amount of capital.
Right.
And so, taking care of the things that are stock, that are just required by every business to do with a really good software platform is a great way to be able to focus on the things that really are core to that, a company's mission and their success. And I think we should all be very thoughtful about what tools make the most sense for our businesses at the right time.
You're absolutely right. I mean, what the business currently needs is, strategic planning and adaptability, and staying focused on long-term goals and using the right tools is so essential. And startups can avoid pitfalls, as you said, by really building a solid foundation early on. As your business grows, it's important to stay innovative. Scaling isn't just about size, it's really about sustainable growth and being prepared for future challenges. So keep investing in innovation and your business will not only grow, but it will thrive in the long run. Now let's talk about innovation and how it can keep businesses relevant and ahead of the curve in today's competitive market. Kevin, in today's fast-paced business world, innovation is a key to staying competitive. Without it, businesses, they really risk falling behind. But the challenge lies in knowing when and how to innovate. And this is what we'd love to learn from you. Kevin, how can businesses foster a culture of innovation? And what role does technology play in ensuring they remain competitive?
I think the simplest way to think about this is being very optimistic and open-minded about what things can progress your business as a starting point. As every business progresses and we see new technology come out, you'll see that our customer bases and our employees both demand different levels of technology within our company as a floor expectation. And I think it's incumbent upon business, entrepreneurs and business owners, to always be cognizant of what those things are. The second I hear somebody say, "Hey, it's the thing that's been, so we've done this way for 50 years, we're not going to change it," it's always a bit of a flag. It doesn't necessarily mean that thing has to change, but being open to the idea that there might be a better way, I think, is important for a lot of businesses.
Innovation is quite a key for staying relevant, especially for small businesses that are up against larger corporations. And it's great to hear your thoughts on this, Kevin. But can you also share any practical steps that small business owners can take to encourage innovation within their teams?
Yeah. Open the door for conversation within your company. Let people know that you're open to ideas. Regardless of what, foster conversations and make sure you give good feedback and lead by example. If people around the table see that you're interested in new technologies and that you're open to adopting them, then they'll bring those ideas to the forefront.
Right. Embracing creativity and new technologies really unlocks growth opportunities. And as we wrap up, Kevin, let's kind of reflect on how entrepreneurs can use innovation to drive their success. As we close, what final piece of advice would you give to small business owners who are also looking to leverage SR&ED and innovation to grow their companies?
Come find us. We're Humi. We will help you foster innovation and support your people from finding them through to the nth degree of what you need to do to support them. And SR&ED is a big part of that. If you're going to get 50 to 60 cents on the dollar back that's being spent on an employee, you should absolutely understand if that's possible and find a great partner to help you do that.
Thank you so much, Kevin, for being on the show with us. Again, you're doing great work with Humi, and we wish you and Humi both continued success. But thank you so much for joining us and sharing your knowledge, sharing such great insights, and we hope to have you back with us on another episode. Thank you.
I would love that. Thank you for having me on.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode, where we had the pleasure of speaking with Kevin Kliman, the founder and CEO of Humi. We discussed the importance of SR&ED for small businesses, the challenges they face, and how innovation plays a vital role in scaling and staying competitive. We'd like to extend our thanks to our partners, RBC, UPS, Constant Contact, IHG, and Google for their invaluable support. For For more such insightful content, make sure to subscribe to the Canadian SME Small Business Magazine by visiting our website, CanadianSME.ca. Again, thank you for tuning in today, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode.